Mercury is the smallest planet in our solar system and the closest one to the Sun. Because it's so close, you'd think it would be the hottest planet, right? But actually, it's not. The reason is that Mercury doesn't have an atmosphere to trap heat. So during the day, the temperature can reach up to 430 degrees Celsius, but at night, it drops down to minus 180 degrees Celsius. That's a crazy temperature difference. Also, since there's no atmosphere, Mercury's surface is covered with tons of craters from asteroid impacts, similar to our moon. Another interesting thing about Mercury is that it's the fastest planet in our solar system. It only takes 88 Earth days to complete one orbit around the Sun. But weirdly enough, one day on Mercury, which is one full rotation, actually takes 59 Earth days. So yeah, a year on Mercury is shorter than its day. Venus is the second planet from the Sun, and it's actually the hottest planet in our solar system, even though Mercury is closer to the Sun. The reason Venus is hotter is because it has an extremely thick atmosphere made of carbon dioxide that traps all the heat, creating a greenhouse effect. The surface temperature on Venus can reach up to 475 degrees Celsius, which is hot enough to melt lead. Not just that, the atmosphere is so heavy that the pressure on Venus is 90 times stronger than Earth's, which would crush a human instantly. Another weird thing about Venus is that it rotates backwards compared to most other planets. So if you were standing on Venus, the sun would rise in the west and set in the east. Oh yeah, Venus also has clouds, but they're not like Earth's clouds. Instead, they're made of sulfuric acid, which would burn your skin immediately. So yeah, Venus might look beautiful from space, but it's actually one of the most hostile places in our solar system.
Earth is the third planet from the Sun, and obviously it's the only planet where life exists. The reason life can exist on Earth is because it's located in the habitable zone, also called the Goldilocks zone, which means it's not too hot and not too cold. Earth has the perfect distance from the Sun where water can exist in all three states: solid ice, liquid water, and water vapor. And since water is essential for life, that's why living organisms can survive here. Another important thing is Earth's atmosphere, which is made of nitrogen and oxygen. This atmosphere protects us from harmful radiation from the Sun and also keeps the temperature stable. Earth also has a magnetic field that shields us from solar wind, which would otherwise strip away our atmosphere. Oh yeah, Earth has one moon, and that moon is really important too, because it stabilizes Earth's tilt, which gives us consistent seasons and also creates ocean tides.
Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun, and it's also called the red planet because its surface is covered with iron oxide, which is basically rust. Mars is actually pretty similar to Earth in some ways. It has polar ice caps, seasons, and even a day that's almost the same length as Earth's day. But the atmosphere on Mars is very thin, mostly carbon dioxide, and the temperature is extremely cold, averaging around minus 60 degrees Celsius. Scientists believe that billions of years ago, Mars actually had liquid water flowing on its surface, and there's evidence of ancient river valleys and lake beds. That's why researchers are so interested in exploring Mars, because if there was water, maybe there was life too. Mars also has some of the most extreme geological features in our solar system. It has Olympus Mons, which is the largest volcano, standing at 22 kilometers tall, and Valles Marineris, a canyon system that's 4,000 kilometers long. Oh yeah, because of all these similarities to Earth and the possibility of past life, Mars is the main target for future human exploration and colonization. Jupiter is the fifth planet from the Sun, and it's the largest planet in our solar system. In fact, Jupiter is so big that all the other planets combined could fit inside it. Jupiter is a gas giant, which means it doesn't have a solid surface like Earth or Mars. Instead, it's mostly made of hydrogen and helium.
One of the most famous features of Jupiter is the Great Red Spot, which is actually a massive storm that's been raging for at least 400 years. This storm is so huge that it's about twice the size of Earth. Jupiter also has a really strong magnetic field, which is 20,000 times stronger than Earth's. Another cool thing about Jupiter is that it has at least 95 moons, and the largest one is called Ganymede, which is even bigger than the planet Mercury. But here's the interesting part. Jupiter actually acts like a shield for Earth. Its massive gravity pulls in asteroids and comets that could potentially hit Earth. So without Jupiter, life on Earth might have been wiped out by asteroid impacts a long time ago.
Saturn is the sixth planet from the Sun, and it's famous for its beautiful ring system. These rings are made of billions of pieces of ice and rock, ranging from tiny grains to chunks as big as mountains. Saturn is also a gas giant like Jupiter, and it's the second largest planet in our solar system. But here's a fun fact. Saturn is so light that if you could find an ocean big enough, Saturn would actually float in it. That's because its density is lower than water. Saturn also has more than 140 moons, and the largest one is called Titan. Titan is really interesting because it's the only moon in our solar system with a thick atmosphere, and it even has lakes and rivers. But instead of water, these lakes are filled with liquid methane and ethane. Another weird thing about Saturn is that it has a hexagon-shaped storm at its north pole. Scientists still don't fully understand why this storm has a perfect hexagon shape, but it's been there for decades.
Uranus is the seventh planet from the Sun, and it's classified as an ice giant, not a gas giant like Jupiter and Saturn. The reason it's called an ice giant is because while it does have hydrogen and helium, it also has a lot of water, methane, and ammonia in its interior. Uranus has a blue-green color because of the methane in its atmosphere, which absorbs red light and reflects blue and green light. But the most unusual thing about Uranus is that it's tilted on its side. While most planets spin like a top, Uranus basically rolls along its orbit like a ball. Scientists think that a massive collision with another planet-sized object billions of years ago knocked Uranus onto its side. Because of this extreme tilt, Uranus has the most extreme seasons in our solar system. Each pole gets 42 years of continuous sunlight, followed by 42 years of complete darkness. Uranus also has rings, but they're much fainter and harder to see compared to Saturn's rings. Oh yeah, Uranus also has the coldest planetary atmosphere in our solar system, with temperatures dropping to minus 224 degrees Celsius. Neptune is the eighth and farthest planet from the Sun. It's also an ice giant like Uranus, and it has a deep blue color because of the methane in its atmosphere. Even though Neptune is the farthest planet from the Sun, it's not the coldest. That title goes to Uranus. But what Neptune does have is the strongest winds in our solar system. Wind speeds on Neptune can reach up to 2,100 kilometers per hour, which is faster than the speed of sound on Earth. Neptune also has a large moon called Triton, which is really interesting because it orbits Neptune in the opposite direction compared to Neptune's rotation. This suggests that Triton wasn't formed around Neptune, but was actually captured by Neptune's gravity from somewhere else in the solar system. Another cool fact about Neptune is that it was the first planet discovered through mathematical predictions rather than direct observation. In the 1800s, astronomers noticed that Uranus wasn't orbiting exactly as predicted, so they calculated that another planet must be affecting its orbit. And when they pointed their telescopes to that calculated location, they found Neptune.